Namaste. We are here for another English class with a new poem. The name of the poem is In the Bazaars of Hyderabad. You know, Hyderabad is one of the prime cities of India. Now it is considered to be one of the metro cities. To talk about a little bit geography, first there were 4 metro cities: Kolkata, Delhi, Chennai and Mumbai. Right now, recently 2 included. Not recently, long back it was another addition, that is Bangalore and Hyderabad. Now recent political condition, or if you try to check the map of India, definitely again it shows a diversion. That is, Hyderabad is now in Telangana. It's not in Andhra Pradesh. So that particular state, big state, it is divided into 2 sectors. One is Andhra Pradesh and one is Telangana. So right now Hyderabad belongs to Telangana. Just it's a scrap of geographical connection, because literature actually intertextualizes everything. That's the quality of literature. Literature is different from all subjects, because any subject can be a part of literature. That is what. Because if we cannot relocate Hyderabad, so definitely it's going to be a fruitless reading of the text, because we have to contextualize. Contextualization is very, very important for an illustration of any particular text. Sarojini Naidu, she wrote this poem in the year 1912, long back, almost 100 years. But that Hyderabad and today's Hyderabad, these are 2 different entities right now. 2 different pictures. So there is a change with the time, change of modernization. And this poem is seen, this poem is edited in one anthology. The name of that anthology is A Bird of Time. So here bird is actually a metaphor that talks about time. That time flies just like a bird from one country to another country, from one phase to another phase. So that is what she tries to mean. But before we dig into the poem, we have to look back very little the noteworthy or salient features about the life of the poet, because it's very important. I have already shared this idea that if we do not know the background, the observation, the experience, the thinking, the opinion of the poet, definitely it's going to be half understanding of the poem. Every poem aims at a positive intonation in the minds of the readers. But that positive intonation becomes concretized if we go back to the lifestyle, to the life situation, rather the lifestyle of the poet. So definitely it helps. From that perspective, we have to read the life of Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu is a multi-dimensional character. Multi, if you are American, then it's going to be multi-dimensional. Multi-dimensional characters. Why am I saying that she is multi-dimensional and versatile character? Because she is a politician, she is an activist, she is a feminist, she is a poet, and she is a skilled family member. So definitely it needs a special skill to manage all these affairs, where you need great responsibility, where you need to bear greater amount of responsibility, and she is a successful character from all aspects. It talks about the real challenge that she has seen in her life, but she is able to manage, she is able to fulfill all the scopes that she has faced in her life. So from that aspect, from that perspective, we can say that she is really multidimensional or multifaceted character. She is born in Hyderabad, but she is a Bengali. Well-settled family in Hyderabad, because her father, she was a principal in Nizam College, one of the reputed institutions of Hyderabad of that time. So therefore you can understand she is born in an educated family where there is an ambience of education and culture. She started education there, and then she moved to Chennai, Madras, and after that she went to abroad, King's College. Everywhere she has a political connection. While she was in India, she has come in touch with figures like Rabindranath Tagore, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Mahatma Gandhi. When she was in England, she has come in contact with Annie Besant, figure like Arthur Simmons. And ultimately you can understand, whenever you are meeting, whenever you are in strong touch with those great personalities, there is a positive vibe all the time. So life is that only. If you become a friend and companion of good and great personalities, definitely it makes your life. So the mixture that actually decides whether you are going to lead a positive or negative life. So these personalities made the character or the career of Sarojini Naidu. She was deeply inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, and therefore she started her rebellion against the British in 1905 in the wake of Bengal partition movement. That's the beginning of the career as a politician. I'm not using the word politician because I'm using the word politician because she has a strong connection with Indian Congress. But after all, she is a responsible citizen, and therefore she wants to fight against British rule so that British colonization can be obliterated from India and fresh air should come where everybody should feel free. Because British, the British colonization, it is looming large on the minds of Indian people. So therefore, she became an active participant of Indian freedom movement. Active participant. At the same time, she is able to carry on her education and her task as an artist. Artist is what? As a writer. Because of these multifaceted qualities, she is called the Nightingale of India. That's the title, that's the epithet she bears with her name. Think about it. There are two nightingales in India. You know what is nightingale. I'm not going to talk about nightingale at this stage, but there are two nightingales. One is Lata Mangeshkar. You know it because of her quality, because of her sweetness, mellifluous nature of her quality of voice. Therefore, she is termed as the Nightingale of India. And the second nightingale is Sarojini Naidu because of her creation. Not only that, she is an active feminist. At that point of time, she started a rebellion against women's suffrage. I have talked about suffrage. Suffrage is the permission to elect a party. During that point of time, women were not permitted or they were not sanctioned to elect. So they had no right to vote. So she had fought against that. She also talked about the equal right of women in the society. So being an active member of Indian Congress, being in a position, she had fought against this. It talks about the real character. I'm just giving an example. From that example, I think I'll be able to clarify the confusion. Ravan, a character from Ramayana, he is a Vedacharya, a wise person, because he could recite all the Vedas. That much wisdom he had. A Pandit in Sanskrit. But he did not teach Sanskrit. He did not share his knowledge. Ultimately what happens? He dominated the Rakshasas. So it becomes an exploitation. You know that, but you are not teaching somebody else. So you are not sharing your knowledge. Rather, knowledge is kept into your custody. Ultimately what happens? It becomes an exploitation because people know that you are very knowledgeable and there is no sharing of knowledge. Ultimately, they always stoop down in front of you. That happens with Ravana. So therefore, nobody respects Ravana. But what happens with Sarojini Naidu? She was in a position. Being in a position, she knows that our women, they are not respected in our society. So therefore, she has to do something for that. If she would have been very much self-contented that, okay, I got my position, I'm not going to do anything else, do you think that she would have been respected that much? Should have been termed as Nightingale of India? It's a burning question that you have to think all the time. So she occupied a position, a respectable place in the society, in the country rather. Being in a position, she had tried her best to smoothen the process of women so that they can also come to the power, empowerment. She became the first president of United Provinces in 1925. First, not only first female member. And there is a stamp in the name of Sarojini Naidu. This stamp process is very famous in Britain because all the coins, because in our notes also we get the picture of Gandhiji. Similarly, if you go to England, if you get coins, or Queen Elizabeth, Victoria, those great queens or kings, they have stamped their faces. It shows their excellence. So they were patronizers of art, culture, everything. So therefore, it is actually an acknowledgement to their contribution. Therefore, these images are stamped on coins. Gandhiji is there. Sarojini Naidu, in the name of Sarojini Naidu, there is a stamp. Next thing I'm going to tell is all about that. Even though she is a Bengali, she is a Chattopadhyay. But she got married with a guy of Telugu. Especially I'm trying to tell about Andhra Pradesh. Think about that point of time, intercaste marriage was so difficult, but she did it. And she did it quite happily. She did it quite happily. And his husband was a man of medicine, physician. That's a part. Next phase that I'm going to talk about is that when she was in Britain, she was quite inundated by the culture of England at that point of time when she was in London, King's College. That's her Imma Mater. Imma Mater is actually talking about the lap of mother, where you are taking your formal education. It is called Imma Mater. So London's college was her Imma Mater. At that point of time, she was very much influenced by the British culture, tradition, this and that. But ultimately, she has decided that she will stay there and she will continue her career. But when she came in contact with Arthur Symons, he understood. He is also a great personality in literature. He understood the real spark in the character of Sarojini Naidu. Therefore, he counseled Sarojini Naidu to go back India and to write about India, and that perhaps will expose the best quality, the best poet in Sarojini Naidu, and she maintained it. Partially, there was an influence of Mahatma Gandhi and Gokhale also, because they also inspired Sarojini Naidu to come back to India and to write about India, because when she is writing about India, other people can read her language, her situation, and they can be inspired through the poems. And it's true, poem has that caliber. 2 lines or maybe 1 word can create a world war. That's the power of poetry. It's true. Might be at this stage it's not, it appears to be a little bit abnormal, peculiar, awkward, but it's true. 2 lines can create a world war. 2 lines can create a great commotion in the world, great strife in the world. That's the power of poetry, because it erupts your emotion. Erupt, actually this is a word that is related to volcano. If you read geography, perhaps you'll be associated with these words, but I'm saying this because I have already shared this idea that literature, text, or everything comes in the periphery of literature. So with this context, Sarojini Naidu has given an introduction about the bazaar and the condition of Indian market. Because you know that British people, they have come for their business. So it's all about transaction. And in the name of transaction, in the name of stealing, they have dominated so many Indians. Because we are black. So bazaar becomes very important. We have to understand the very essence, rather quintessence of bazaar. What is bazaar? Is it the bazaar right now? No, definitely it's no. So we have to go back to that point of time where she is writing this poem. This is the task of the readers. So definitely you have to understand the poem from that perspective, that where bazaar takes a vital role, and it is very, very important to construct, or rather it is important for the growth of any nation. Growth of any nation. It's not the developed nation. Perhaps there is an ambiguity between these two words. Let me clarify this. There is a subtle difference between growth and development. Growth is related to your physical aspects, while development is related to psychology. So you are growing, it means you are putting weight, your height is increasing, so that's growth. And develop means you become mature, you become sensible. So that's growth. Development is related to your psychology. So one is related to physics, one is related to psyche. That's the difference. So if we talk about the development of the society, we have to understand it's a psychological aspect. That everybody is treated psychologically. Whether they are honest, whether they are dishonest, whether they are kind, whether they are sympathetic, or the opposites. You can take it like this. So rather she has done everything. So bazaar is important for the growth, not the development. And definitely if it reaches to the growth, the ultimate growth, definitely development will come. Because mentally you will be at peace. Mentally you will be relaxed because you will have money with you. And whenever you have money, you can be able to exchange with the world. That happens. So it appears to be a simple poem once again. But it's very intricate if you try to dig into the aspects. So this is all about Sarojini Naidu. This is a simple introduction about the poem. With this, I'm going to end our first session. In our second session, we will deal the title, the theme, the critical aspects of the poem, and then we will carry on with the stanzas. Thank you very much. If you have any problem, please jot down those problems. If we get any chance to talk face to face, definitely I will solve your problems. Thank you so much.